Sky Squad, we are back in the building, and I just gotta let y'all know Sherlock Homeboy is back on the case. Oh, yes, we talking all types of exposing going on today in the aftermath of this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay, we got to talk about it. I'm not even gonna wait. Let's dive right on in to Courtney exposing cousin Drew, alleged cousin. Let me put the alleged badge up here, baby, because we got a lot of allegations floating around in this video. So I need y'all to buckle on up. So, our friends over at the Neighborhood Talk happened to catch wind of an interview with friend to our show, Behind the Velvet Rope with David Yontef. Okay. We've interviewed him. I've been on his show. He is amazing. Okay. So he did an interview with Courtney. Now I'm gonna go ahead and read you the headline. It reads: Courtney Rhodes says Drew Sidora lied about Ralph's Tampa disappearance and him auditioning to strip for Magic Mike. She says, I'm not sure if she understands the damage with her lies. Reputations are ruined. So let's get into the tea. She basically is saying that that whole situation with Tampa, like it really wasn't, I guess, a disappearance. There were no strippers or anything like that. That was all a sham. She also says that it was a sham that Ralph was allegedly going to Vegas for to audition for Magic Mike. She says that Ralph admitted to her that they were joking. Okay. These, again, allegations, allege that was all a joke that Drew then ran back to the group with to basically further her story for the show, right? She says that she knows that Ralph went to Vegas for a tech conference. Okay. Um, so all of this stuff that Drew has been saying about Ralph and even our introduction to Ralph in the Tampa situation, I mean, I'm assuming he just went along with it. Courtney alleges that basically Drew was sort of roping him into all of this with the hopes that he would just go along with it for the sake of going along with it for the show, right? But Courtney goes on to say that these lies are actually ruining Ralph's reputation. Now, I need to know in the chatterization who you believe. Do you believe Courtney? I would play you the audio to this, but it, belongs to David Yontef and the Behind the Velvet Rope. And you guys can listen to it because I'm going to place the link in the description. I mean, you should read the comments. The comments. Okay. One person says, so Drew lied about him going to Tampa and he just went along with it. Yeah. Other people are a bit more skeptical of Miss Courtney. Someone says, didn't she just find out this is her cousin? Now all of a sudden she know what happened in this lady's marriage. I hope Drew. We'll save that. Now another person says her and Ralph been play cousins for all of 5 minutes, and here she is trying to come for Drew. Can't they are going off about her in these comments? Okay. Let me know who you believe, because it does seem like, I mean, it's interesting. It's very, very interesting because in this clip, she says, she kind of slips and she says, well, we were friends, talking about her and Ralph. And then she's like, well, cousins. And I'm like, are y'all really cousins? Is this a real cousin friend situation? How do you really know Ralph? What is the truth here? Somebody in this situation is lying, and I don't know who it is. But as your resident Sherlock homeboy, we are going to get to the bottom of it. I don't know how, okay? But I suspect that there will be more to come with all of this, especially come time for the reunion. I'm interested to see what revelations we get in the next couple of episodes. I'm still waiting for the Ty Young of it all. I'm still waiting. Is the divorce real? I mean, because now I got to ask the questions. Is, because we saw with Kim and Croy. I mean, listen, I ain't saying their divorce won't real, but what I am saying is, I mean, as we stated, it was cheaper to keep her. Okay, cheaper to keep him. What is the truth? What is the truth? Or is this all a sham and we're all falling for it? Somebody let me know in the chat what y'all believe, especially after you watch this clip right here. Okay? Now, we got to talk a little bit about, while we talking about the exposure of it all, okay? Let's talk about speak on it, okay? Because as you guys know, after the episode, I always like to try to collect all the intel that I can from all these additional sources, like the speak on it, where we do a lot of times get answers to some of the plot questions that we have about the show. But in this instance, we didn't get answers to the plot questions about the show. We get answers about the plot against Kandi from back in the dungeon days. So she had a young man on her speak on it by the name of Jay. I believe his Instagram is the Urban Soul Suite. So be sure to go and follow him. But she talked about, because he asked her about this idea of, does she owe Phaedra a conversation? She feels like she don't owe Phaedra-ish, okay? And it is not just because of the rumors that were started. And she points out that at that reunion, people forget that Portia actually told the audience, okay, and addressed Phaedra and says, you told me that you heard Kandi say that out of her own mouth. And then it became suddenly, no, a producer or somebody else told her, something like that. And so that was one issue that she had with her. Another issue was that at the reunion, she asked her something about her restaurants. And for Kandi, that let her know that at the time, because they were working on a liquor license and she wasn't able to get it, she felt as though Phaedra was trying to do some shady stuff behind the scenes, based on what I gather here, to prevent her from getting that license. So for Kandi, she feels like Phaedra is the type of person that will just do whatever, okay, to bring her down if she has a problem with her. And for Kandi, she just does not want to be around that. And I guess when you put it in that perspective, if that's what, especially if that's what she believes, then it would definitely be difficult for me to ever want to be around that person ever again either. You understand what I'm saying? Because I mean, I feel like it's one thing to, it's one thing to shade somebody, I think, but it's a whole different situation when you feel like somebody is just outright lying on you and trying to destroy your businesses. That is a whole other matter. So make sure you guys check out Speak on It and hear from Kandi's own lips exactly what she felt like, has been occurring. Also, we get the tea, all right, that Kandi and the gang is actually returning for the season 2. Oh yes, it has been confirmed in the Speak on It. So you guys are able to, for those of you guys who enjoyed Kandi and the gang like I did, I actually thought it was a great show. To be quite honest with you, it was great entertainment in terms of fun, drama, and just, it was one of those types of shows that's like a hot mess of a show, but it's a hot mess in terms of like it's entertaining, it's good, it was good TV that didn't feel heavy. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by that when I say that. It's not a diss or anything like that. It means I liked it. Now let's move on to the last little story. And in order to get to this story, baby, I got to play you a little bit of the madness, okay?
But you should not expect me to pay for anything on my birthday.
No, she didn't expect you. She
I thought your man would pay for you.
Not you.
What?
Yeah, he did pay for me. That's what I want to pay for you and your husband. But what I'm saying is about the gift. No. Ron shouldn't even want a man paying for him and his wife.
What? Listen, if I could play y'all the whole clip, I would play you the clip, baby. Sanya and Sheree going at it about Martell asking for that cash app after Sheree's birthday dinner with them ladies that she done known for 30, 40, 50 years. Okay? And so Sanya, was the one that told Kenya about it. So Sheree is basically confronting her about that. And so as Sanya is trying to explain herself, like, okay, well, I was initially expecting him to pay, but given that y'all haven't really been together that long, then I guess it is what it is. But Sheree is like, I don't understand why you would expect for my man to be paying for you and your man. Like, what man would do that? I could see if it was a table of my girlfriends or whatever like that, but it was other, you had your man there. So why would he want another man to pay for you, And I feel like, I'm going to tell you the truth. I feel like, personally, I'm kind of on the side with Sanya in this instance because I feel this is why. And I'm going to tell you, and it might not be fair. My assessment may not be fair in this instance. But the reason I feel like this is because I feel like with Sheree and these dudes, that she be accepting mediocre behavior. And I feel like, if this were an isolated incident, then I feel like, okay, cool. I get it. Maybe he was running low on cash, even though you are the star of a show. But maybe he was, a little low on cash. But in everyday life, I told y'all in my earlier video how me and my friends would do either, the person's boo is paying for them, or everybody is chipping in for the birthday person and expects to pay something. But we talking about people who are allegedly in the upper echelon behind the gates, baby. Okay, so when I think about people behind the gates, I'm thinking, baby, you should be paying for that $1,500. What is $1,500 to somebody behind the gates, baby? What is it? You know what I'm saying? But, in the argument, again, like I said, I feel like it is a pattern of behavior for Sheree to seemingly, from my vantage point, accept mediocre behavior, and she's trying to justify it. Granted, listen, I'm not saying $1,500 is a lot to a lot of people. Don't misinterpret what I'm saying. I'm talking about the expectation from this upper echelon level of peoples. Okay. And Sanya's explanation of how she was thinking, which Sheree is not even trying to hear because she knows. Okay. She knows. And I felt like she was trying to overtalk Sanya, but this is one of those instances where I'm actually here for Sanya. And if she's going to bring this type of energy moving forward, then I'm really going to be here for her next season, because she was standing 10 toes down in it. Not to mention the fact that when it comes down to it, when they get to talking about, gift, people, them giving Sheree gifts because she claimed she didn't need anything from, anybody else's man, because Sanya makes the point, like, when they went out with Kandi and Todd, Todd paid for all the peoples, and there was at least 8 of them. So why can't Martell? That wasn't what she was saying, but basically she was saying, like, this has been the protocol that I'm used to, right? And Sheree is like, when they talking about, Sheree brings up, of course, you didn't even get me anything for my birthday or whatever like that. And Sanya's like, yes, I did. I gave you a pair of either like Versace or Gucci slippers or something like that, but you didn't give me nothing for mine. Okay. You didn't give me nothing for mine at all. Okay. And then Sheree get to, stuttering and talking about some perfume and basically trying to ignore Sanya because she don't want to hear the truth. I feel like Sanya, that's right, girlfriend. Stand 10 toes down in it. Don't let Sheree stutter and stumble and overtalk you. You get your point out, okay? And I don't know, it's Martell, bro. You should have paid for that dinner, babe. Should have paid for that dinner, man. 1,500, babes. Sheree, you deserve better, man. You deserve a baller, shot caller, brawler. All right. Anyway, I ain't got time for nothing else right now, y'all. I got to get back to some other work I got to do. But I had to come sit down and give y'all this ponderosa, baby. What do y'all think about this whole situation with Courtney exposing the mess out of Drew and Wreck-It Ralph? Okay. And how do you feel about what Kandi had to say about that good Phaedra, especially now that she's reminded us of some other things that she felt like was going on? And then, baby, this right here, baby, this right here took me out. Okay, that was better than the episode.